You might be experiencing symptoms right now and have no idea. Small signs your body is sending could be early warnings of something deeper. This guide reveals the hidden truth your body's been trying to tell you and how to naturally restore balance before it's too late. Have you ever felt a strange discomfort in your body that you just couldn't explain? Maybe a subtle tension in your chest, a fog in your mind, or a tiredness that no amount of sleep could fix. If so, you're not alone. Millions of people experience symptoms like these every single day, and most of them don't even realize it. These are not dramatic signs that send you rushing to the emergency room. No, these are the quiet whispers of your body, warning you that something is off long before it screams for help. You might think, it's probably just stress, or it's just part of getting older. But what if these small signs were actually your body trying to get your attention? What if behind these seemingly harmless symptoms, there was a deeper imbalance slowly building inside you? The truth is, your body is constantly communicating with you. The real question is, are you listening? Take a moment to reflect on how often you feel truly energized throughout the day. If you wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all, drag yourself through the morning, depend on caffeine to keep going, and collapse at the end of the day, that is not normal. That is not how a balanced, thriving body should feel. And yet, this has become the new normal for many, especially in modern lifestyles filled with processed foods, rushed meals, artificial lighting, and constant stimulation. You see, what we often dismiss as just another bad day can actually be a sign that something is out of alignment. And ignoring these messages can lead to a cascade of consequences that affect not just your energy, but your mood, your memory, your digestion, and even your heart. Let me be clear. This isn't about fear. This is about awareness. Because the sooner we notice these early signs, the sooner we can make simple, natural adjustments that can profoundly improve our quality of life. And the best part? You don't need to rely on expensive treatments or radical diets. Sometimes, the most powerful changes come from what's already within your reach. Now, here's something important you should know right from the start. Toward the end of this journey, I'm going to share a bonus tip, one that has helped countless people enhance the results of their health routines naturally. It's not a supplement. It's not a product you have to buy. It's something simple, accessible, and incredibly effective, but only when used the right way. So stay with me, because that tip alone could be the turning point you didn't know you needed. Back to the symptoms we tend to overlook. They're not loud. They're not always painful, but they are persistent. They show up when your body is overwhelmed, overloaded, and crying for relief. And if we continue to silence those cries with caffeine, sugar, and distractions, we risk pushing ourselves further into imbalance. But here's the good news. Every symptom is also an opportunity to pause, to listen, and to course correct. And once we recognize the hidden messages, we can support our bodies in the most natural and sustainable way possible. So, what should you be looking out for? What are the signs that you might already be experiencing without even knowing? We're going to go deep into them, one by one, and with each discovery, you'll have more clarity, more tools, and more hope to move toward a healthier version of yourself. And remember, every small shift matters. Every mindful choice counts. This journey is not about perfection. It's about connection to your body, to your mind, and to the wisdom they carry. As we begin to explore the first silent symptom, one that might be draining your energy without your awareness, keep in mind that health is not built overnight. It's built moment by moment, choice by choice. The next clue might seem obvious, but it hides a complex truth that most people overlook. And ignoring it not only limits your results, it could actually trigger unwanted effects over time if not addressed correctly. What we'll uncover next is one of the most underestimated signs your body is trying to reveal, and learning how to interpret it can change everything. Fatigue is one of the most overlooked symptoms in modern life, often blamed on a busy schedule or a poor night's sleep. But persistent fatigue, the kind that lingers even after rest, may be one of the first signs your body is struggling silently beneath the surface. It's a message, not a flaw. And when we ignore that message, we miss a vital opportunity to bring the body back into balance. Let's begin by reframing how we think about energy. True energy doesn't come from coffee or energy drinks. It comes from the cells in your body, especially your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses responsible for converting nutrients into usable fuel. When these cells are undernourished, inflamed, or overwhelmed by toxins, your energy levels plummet. No amount of caffeine can fix that. Most people living a typical fast-paced lifestyle, grabbing meals on the go, sleeping less than they should, relying on processed snacks, are unknowingly depleting their cellular energy every day. And this shows up as constant tiredness, irritability, poor concentration, and even emotional lows. It's not your willpower that's failing you. It's your biology asking for help. Now here's something that surprises a lot of people. Your liver plays a huge role in your energy. It filters toxins, metabolizes nutrients, and regulates hormones that directly affect your mood and stamina. If your liver is overwhelmed, which is common when consuming processed foods, excess sugar, alcohol, or over-the-counter medications, it can't function optimally. The result? Fatigue. So how do we respond? The first step is to reduce the burden. Hydration is key. Pure water, not sugary drinks. Prioritize foods that nourish rather than drain. Leafy greens, bitter vegetables, healthy fats, and fermented foods. These support both your liver and your gut, two organs deeply connected to how energized you feel. Sleep is another essential pillar. Not just quantity, but quality. Aim for consistent bedtimes, a dark sleep environment, and a reduction in screen time at night. Melatonin, your sleep hormone, is disrupted by artificial light, especially the blue light from phones and TVs. And without deep, restorative sleep, your body can't repair and recharge. Movement matters too. Light exercise like walking, stretching, or gentle yoga can actually boost energy rather than deplete it. Why? Because movement increases circulation, supports lymphatic flow, and helps the body process toxins more effectively. This is especially helpful in countering the effects of a sedentary lifestyle, which many of us fall into unintentionally. If you find yourself constantly tired after meals, that's another red flag. It could be a sign of poor digestion, blood sugar imbalances, or even food sensitivities. Chewing thoroughly, eating in a calm environment, and choosing whole foods over processed ones can ease the digestive load and reduce post-meal fatigue. And let's not forget emotional stress. Chronic stress doesn't just weigh on your mind, it drains your body. Cortisol, your main stress hormone, can become dysregulated over time, leading to burnout. Managing stress with techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or simply unplugging for a few minutes a day can begin to restore your natural energy rhythm. What's most empowering here is that you don't need to overhaul your life. Small, consistent changes create momentum. Swapping your sugary breakfast for something protein-rich, drinking water before coffee, taking a 5-minute walk instead of scrolling through your phone. These are not just habits, they are signals to your body that it's safe, supported, and allowed to heal. Fatigue may be common, but it is not normal, and it is not something you have to live with. When you recognize it as your body's early cry for balance, you unlock the possibility of true vitality. And remember, the next sign we're about to explore is one of the most important, often mistaken for a personality trait or aging, when in fact it could be a deeply rooted internal imbalance. Ignoring it won't just limit your results, it could lead to frustrating setbacks and hidden complications that are entirely preventable when you understand what's really going on. When you think about energy and fatigue, you probably picture the body slowing down. But what if the slowdown isn't just physical? What if your brain is sending the same signals and you're calling it just being tired or a busy day? There's something subtle and surprisingly common happening in millions of people right now, and most don't even recognize it. Mental fog. This isn't just forgetting where you put your keys. It's the creeping sense that your thoughts aren't as sharp, your memory isn't as reliable, and your focus just isn't what it used to be. You may read a sentence and forget what it said a moment later. You might feel like your creativity is muted, or that you're operating in slow motion. It feels like your brain is wrapped in cotton, and that fog may be your body's way of saying, "I need help." Mental fog isn't a condition on its own. It's a symptom. And like all symptoms, it has a cause. One of the most overlooked contributors is inflammation, especially when it's happening in the gut. Yes, your digestion could be affecting your brain. This connection between the gut and the brain is powerful. When the gut is out of balance, whether from processed foods, sugar overload, stress, or lack of beneficial bacteria, it sends inflammatory signals that reach the brain. This creates a sense of fogginess, dullness, and fatigue that isn't fixed by sleep or motivation. Food plays a central role in this. If your meals are high in refined carbohydrates, fried items, or artificial additives, foods common in many Western diets, you're more likely to experience this kind of internal inflammation. These foods not only disrupt gut bacteria, but they also spike blood sugar and trigger insulin responses that can leave you feeling mentally drained within hours. Hydration is another factor we often dismiss. Your brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can affect cognition, memory, and mood. If you're drinking lots of coffee, soda, or energy drinks, but not enough pure water, your brain function could be compromised without you realizing it. There's also the issue of chronic overstimulation. The constant flow of notifications, multitasking, scrolling, and exposure to screens keeps your brain in a state of mild chaos. This doesn't allow for true rest or deep focus. The result? Your mind feels cloudy, not because it's broken, but because it hasn't had a chance to breathe. So what can you do? Start by giving your gut the support it needs. Incorporate fiber-rich foods like vegetables, seeds, and fermented items such as sauerkraut or kefir. These help balance your microbiome and reduce inflammation that may be affecting your brain. Next, look at your sugar intake. Not just the obvious desserts, but also hidden sugars in sauces, breads, and processed snacks. Reducing these can stabilize your energy and mental clarity. Take breaks from screens. Even 10 minutes outside in natural light without your phone can help reset your nervous system and enhance mental sharpness. Deep breathing, silence, and a short walk can do more for your brain than another hour staring at a glowing screen. Sleep quality remains essential. Your brain detoxifies itself at night through a process called glymphatic clearance. Without deep sleep, this cleaning process is incomplete, and toxins can accumulate, making your fog worse. Consider turning off devices at least 30 minutes before bed and using soft lighting to signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Movement is equally beneficial. It doesn't need to be intense. A simple walk can increase blood flow to the brain and help you feel more awake and alert. If you've ever noticed how ideas seem to flow when you're in motion, this is why. And here's a gentle truth. Mental fog isn't something you have to live with. It's a signpost. It's your mind asking for a clearer path, for nourishment, and for space to breathe. When you honor that request, the fog begins to lift. Your thoughts sharpen, your creativity returns, and you start to feel like yourself again. But there's one more symptom that could be even more urgent. It's something many people experience physically but dismiss emotionally. And if ignored, it can quietly place a strain on one of your body's most vital systems. The next sign you're about to discover holds one of the most powerful keys to long-term health. Not paying attention to it won't just limit your progress. It could trigger effects you won't notice until it's much harder to reverse. You may not think much about the rhythm of your heartbeat or the subtle sensations in your chest throughout the day, but sometimes your body sends signals that are easy to ignore or even misinterpret. A brief flutter in the chest, a sense of pressure, or even a racing heart after a minor event can be written off as anxiety, fatigue, or just a normal reaction. But what if those signs weren't just random? What if they were part of a bigger message your body is trying to send you? Palpitations, chest tightness, or a general sense of unease in the chest area are symptoms that many people experience but rarely investigate. These aren't always signs of something severe, but they also shouldn't be ignored. What's important to understand is that these sensations can stem from a variety of sources, and some may surprise you. One of the most common but underestimated causes is mineral imbalance. Your heart relies on key electrolytes, like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, to maintain its rhythm. When these minerals are low, due to stress, poor diet, dehydration, or certain medications, the electrical signals in your heart can become irregular, leading to sensations like flutters, skipped beats, or tightness. Caffeine and stimulants also play a role. Many people rely on multiple cups of coffee or energy drinks to get through the day, especially when dealing with fatigue or mental fog. But when your body is already depleted, adding stimulants can overexcite your nervous system, making your heart work harder than it needs to. What starts as a pick-me-up can evolve into a strain. Stress is another powerful contributor. When you're under constant mental or emotional pressure, your body is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These affect your heart directly, increasing heart rate and sometimes causing tightness in the chest. What's more, chronic stress shifts the body into a constant fight-or-flight mode, disrupting sleep, digestion, and even immune function. But here's where it gets interesting. Digestion plays a role too. Bloating, gas, or even mild indigestion can push against the diaphragm and create sensations that feel like chest pressure or discomfort. Especially after meals heavy in processed ingredients, the body can feel overworked and symptoms may appear far from the digestive system itself. So how can you begin to support this area of your health naturally and effectively? First, nourish your nervous system with calming minerals. Magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, and avocado can help stabilize your heart's rhythm and support relaxation. Coconut water is a natural source of potassium, which supports hydration and cardiac function. Stay hydrated with clean water. Electrolyte balance depends not only on minerals, but also on water itself. Dehydration can make palpitations worse and affect circulation. Reduce reliance on stimulants. If cutting caffeine entirely feels too difficult, start by replacing 1 cup of coffee with an herbal tea rich in calming compounds, like chamomile or lemon balm. These herbs don't just soothe the mind, they support your cardiovascular system by reducing tension and encouraging deeper breathing. Practice slow, conscious breathing. Deep breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, helping to slow the heart rate and reduce physical tension. Even just 5 minutes of deep breathing can have a noticeable effect on how your body feels. Be mindful of posture and digestion. Eating while rushed, slouched, or distracted can make digestion harder and increase the likelihood of post-meal discomfort. Sit upright, chew slowly, and take time to notice how your body responds to different meals. What's most important is to listen. Your body never sends signals without a reason. When you pay attention with curiosity instead of fear, you give yourself the power to respond wisely. Palpitations or chest pressure are not always signs of danger, but they are always invitations to check in with yourself. And now, we approach a part of the body that's often visible yet easily overlooked. It holds clues not only about your current state of health, but also your long-term balance. Ignoring this next area won't just reduce your results, it could delay your progress and mask important warning signs your body is quietly expressing. The body often reveals what words cannot, and sometimes the signs are right there on the surface, literally in plain sight. Yet we dismiss them as cosmetic, unrelated to deeper health. But what if your skin, your nails, and even your hair were quietly sending signals about your internal state? Your outer appearance is more than genetics or a reflection in the mirror. It's a message from your liver, your hormones, your gut, and even your nutrient levels. When something internal is off, the body looks for ways to alert you, and often it chooses the surface. Let's start with the skin. Conditions like acne, eczema, rashes, and unusual dryness are not always just skin deep. They can be connected to digestion, inflammation, and detoxification. The liver plays a major role here. When your liver is overloaded with toxins, whether from processed food, pollution, alcohol, medications, or even stress, it may struggle to filter everything efficiently. When that happens, the body finds other ways to eliminate waste, and one of those ways is through the skin. Breakouts around the jawline can sometimes signal hormonal imbalances. Forehead congestion might suggest digestive issues. Redness or itching may relate to food sensitivities or inflammatory responses. The skin becomes a reflection of internal imbalance, and the clues are more common than we think. Now look at the nails. They too are storytellers. Brittle nails may point to mineral deficiencies, especially in zinc, iron, or biotin. Horizontal ridges can appear after periods of physical or emotional stress. Pale nails may suggest circulation or oxygenation issues. And if the base of the nail, the lunula, is missing or unusually small, it may be a sign of low vitality or metabolic slowdowns. Hair loss or thinning is often blamed on age or genetics, but in many cases, it's a sign of deeper issues, such as thyroid imbalances, iron deficiency, chronic stress, or poor digestion. Hair follicles require constant nourishment, and they are among the first to suffer when the body is under strain or lacking in nutrients. If your hair has become dull, breaks easily, or seems to shed more than usual, it may be time to look beyond the shampoo bottle. The good news is that the body also shows signs of recovery, and that too can be seen on the surface. When the liver and gut are supported, the skin clears. When minerals are replenished, nails strengthen. When stress is managed and nourishment returns, hair can regain its natural texture and vitality. So how do you support these systems holistically? Start by nourishing from within. A diet rich in colorful vegetables, healthy fats like avocado and olive oil, clean protein, and fermented foods can dramatically shift how your body operates and how it shows up on the outside. Support your liver with bitter greens like arugula, dandelion, and kale. These help the liver produce bile, which is essential for fat digestion and toxin elimination. Stay well hydrated to assist detox pathways. Consider your daily exposures. Many skincare and hair care products contain ingredients that burden the liver and irritate the skin. Fragrance, parabens, sulfates, they can all add up. Try choosing simpler, cleaner products with fewer synthetic chemicals. Stress plays a role here too. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which affects hormone balance and nutrient absorption, both of which influence skin, hair, and nail health. Deep breathing, time in nature, and even simple moments of stillness can make a difference. When you begin to see these changes not as cosmetic flaws, but as helpful insights, your entire relationship with your body shifts. You move from frustration to empowerment. And instead of chasing surface solutions, you begin to build lasting balance from the inside out. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. It's the core of everything we've uncovered so far. Because if you ignore this last key, not only will results be slow to come, they may not come at all. And worse, you could unintentionally cause more harm than good without even realizing it. What comes next is more than a tip. It's the foundation that makes all the others work. Now that we've uncovered so many subtle signals from the body, through fatigue, mental fog, chest discomfort, and even visible clues on the skin, it's time to understand the deeper thread that connects them all. Beneath each of these symptoms lies a common cause, one that's often misunderstood or overlooked. And yet, it's the very foundation of your health: internal inflammation and toxin buildup. Inflammation isn't always dramatic. It doesn't always mean swelling, pain, or redness. In fact, the most dangerous kind is the silent type, the kind that slowly affects your energy, mood, digestion, hormones, and immunity without a clear warning. It builds up from years of small, repeated stressors, processed foods, poor sleep, environmental toxins, emotional stress, and lack of movement. When the body is constantly trying to manage this internal burden, it gets tired. Systems that should function smoothly begin to slow down or misfire. Your digestion weakens, your liver becomes sluggish, your brain fogs, your hormones drift out of balance, and your skin becomes reactive. These aren't isolated issues. They're all connected by the body's effort to protect you from overload. The good news is that your body is also brilliantly designed to heal when given the chance. And one of the most effective ways to start is by supporting your natural detoxification systems. That doesn't mean extreme diets, juice fasts, or expensive supplements. It means helping your liver, kidneys, skin, lungs, and gut do what they're already built to do. Let's begin with a simple and powerful habit: the daily use of natural herbal infusions. One of the most effective combinations for gentle daily cleansing is dandelion root and turmeric, with a touch of fresh lemon. Dandelion supports liver function and bile production. Turmeric reduces systemic inflammation and promotes antioxidant activity. Lemon stimulates digestion and alkalizes the body. When brewed together, they create a warm, earthy tea that supports detox pathways without taxing the body. Here's how to prepare it. Use 1 teaspoon of dried dandelion root, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, and the juice of half a lemon. Add to 300 milliliters of hot, not boiling, water. Let it steep for 5 to 7 minutes. Stir well and drink slowly, ideally in the morning or between meals. Always check for allergies or medication interactions before starting any new herbal habit. This tea doesn't just work because of its ingredients. It works because of the way it's used. When taken consistently, with mindfulness, it supports the systems responsible for eliminating toxins before they cause deeper damage. But if used incorrectly, or combined with a poor diet and high stress, it can do very little, or worse, create unnecessary burden. Pairing this routine with gentle movement, daily hydration, and deep breathing enhances the effects even more. Try walking after meals to stimulate digestion and include 5 minutes of slow nasal breathing each morning to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And here's the bonus tip you were promised. After your main meals, take 10 minutes to sit quietly and breathe deeply through your nose. This simple act calms the nervous system, improves digestion, and enhances nutrient absorption, making every meal more beneficial. It's free, it's accessible, and when done consistently, it multiplies the results of everything else you do for your health. When you start honoring these signals, responding to them with care, and supporting your body from the inside out, change happens. Not always overnight, but with consistency, it becomes real, lasting, and liberating. Your body has never stopped working for you. It just needs your attention. And now, you have the tools to offer it. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it too. Every informed choice we make creates a ripple. And that ripple starts with awareness, action, and the willingness to live with intention.